Hey guys, it's Ted Bogert. Welcome back to the TED Show. You know I love my community organizations. I love anything that has to do with community, the arts, giving back. There's so much good stuff that goes on in our community, and I get to the honor of having this young lady on the show. This is Thali Sugisawa. How'd I
You did
do?
great.
Close enough. I'm sorry, and I hate when I butcher a name because everybody always butchers
You
mine.
did not. No,
Well, thank
you're
you
great.
so much. You're very kind, and I appreciate that. I'm excited to have her on to talk about Fusion Fest. So, welcome to the show. How are you today?
Thank you. Thank you so much. I am doing great today. I'm so excited to be here and to be talking to you. I watched a bunch of episodes of your show,
I'm sorry.
and I'm so excited to be here.
Well, I love your energy and I love what you do in the community. And I think that more people, especially my audience, needs to know about it. But before we talk about Fusion Fest, tell them a little bit about you. They love that journey. They want to know how you got from point A to Fusion Fest. So share
Yeah.
the 411 with us.
I always say that if there's one thing I'm an expert on is my story. So you're in for a treat.
I love it. Okay, I can't wait.
Yeah, so I moved here to Orlando in January of 2015. So I was actually born and raised in Brazil. My father is Japanese, my mom is Brazilian. So I was second generation Japanese immigrant in Brazil, and then 7 years ago or so moved here to Orlando. So kind of two times immigrant, and I moved here, and that story is really tied up to Fusion Fest, and that's why I love sharing it, because it's my personal life, also my work life. So growing up Japanese Brazilian in the south of Brazil was very conflicting to me. Like my family was mostly Japanese. My mom is an orphan, so she really leaned in my dad's family, and they would always point out that I was the mixed one. You know, my mom was the first Brazilian to join my dad's family, and but then I started going to school, and then I was not the Brazilian one anymore. I was the Japanese one. And I grew up thinking, you know what? Can I just be me? Like, I don't fully fit in this culture. I don't fully fit in this other culture. I just want to like be me. And so when I was about 9 or 10 years old, things got better for my family. And my dad sent me and my mom and my brother to Orlando to Disney World. And I remember walking in Magic Kingdom as a child. My daughter is 10 years old now, so I was her age, and walking in and just listening to all the different languages and people looking, different and from all over. There were Asians, Latins, and African Americans, and all kinds of people, right? All kinds of languages. And not that Brazil is not diverse, it is very diverse. But for me, I think what struck me was that was normal. Like no one was pointing it out, So 10-year-old Tali made a plan. And my plan was one day I'm going to move to Orlando and I'm going to live here because, I feel like I can just be me here. I don't need to, fit in this Japanese box or this Brazilian box that I can't really fit in anyways. So, well, it took me a long time. It took me, let's say, 20 years, 21 years. But my
But you
whole
did
life,
it.
yes, yes. I from 10, I moved here, I was 31. And, but my whole life, I went to school for international relations. My first job that actually brought me here was in international business. So I always had this mindset of, okay, how can I somehow get to Orlando one day? And it took me a while, but it finally happened. And I moved here again in 2015, finally realizing, finally accomplishing that dream of moving here. And this community just received me in the most amazing way. And it's been a great journey. And I
Did you feel that love immediately? Like, it's one thing to have a dream as a 10-year-old.
Yes.
Then when you come here, was the reality just as wonderful as you expected?
Well, of course, it's hard because when you come and visit as a tourist or even as a student, things are very different than actually living here. Getting your whole house here and bringing your family and figuring out the trash days or how to pay your taxes. It can be very frustrating for immigrants, or trying to even understand. I think what the most difficult part is healthcare. Like I to this day, to be honest, it's been 7 years and it's really hard for me, and I see that in other immigrants as well. So hard to understand the healthcare system here. But yeah, so I got here. I was in this job. I used to work in the medical devices industry, and as soon as I was done with that project, I said I want to stay. But I was in the process of getting my green card, so I could not work for any other company. So I had a whole almost a year that I was on this limbo, waiting for my green card to come and not being able to work. So what I did, I signed up to every volunteering opportunity that I saw, from my daughter's school and getting involved with the what is it called, the school advisory committee, and any opportunity I had in my church community. And then one of those things, I had a mentor at the time, because transitioning from where I was, and having my life, I was raised very Asian, so you just know that there's only one way up. You just keep working, 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 and then all of a sudden I'm like in this limbo. And so I look out for a mentor, and she was at an event. I think at a, if I if I remember right, she was at the Anzian, and Terry Olson, director of Orange County Arts and Cultural Affairs, approached her and said, I'm trying to find some people of different cultures to kind of start brainstorming about a multicultural festival or something like that. Do you know anyone with that background? And she was like, I have the perfect
I've
person
got the
for
one
you.
for you.
Yeah. So he called me the next day and he asked me if I could join a meeting. And I'm like, I don't have anything better to do, of course. I'm just like popping in everything that I can. At that time, I was attending the Mayor's Academy, the City of Orlando Mayor's Academy, which was also so amazing. And kind of that's how I started in Fusion Fest, like going to that meeting when Fusion Fest was just a flick of an idea. And I started volunteering the steering committee that was formed a few weeks after that meeting. So every other month, just gathering and helping them organize events. And because it started with bi-monthly gatherings of nations, which was very, very grassroots. And
Love
kind
the
of that's
concept
how I
of it.
started as a volunteer. I volunteered for a year and a half, I think. Then there was an assistant position that opened at Terry's office, and then that at that time I already had my green card, so I'm like, I can work.
I can do it.
I can do it. Yeah. So I started working for the office, which was a great experience. And like most immigrants, I moved here with a big company, and with a big title that I worked for 10 years to get to. And once I had to start over here, I took this part-time admin assistant job. But I was just so happy to be doing something different and doing something that I could see the impact in the community. So I was like 200% all in. Like I don't care about titles, or I want to do something. And that's really how I got involved. And uh, in 2018 is when we had the first festival, then the first free 2-day multicultural festival in downtown Orlando, and just did it with a lot of labor of love from the community, because we only had funds, honestly, to pay for sound. The stages, we just pull favors from the city and the
That's
county.
grassroots when you start pulling favors. I
Very,
love it.
very, very grassroots. Yeah. And the artists, they all pitched in. And then it was amazing. We made it happen. And in 2019 was a little bit easier to get some sponsorships because we had made the first one. So we had materials and all of that. So 2019 happened. And I remember that uh, I think it was around April or May in 2019 that our development manager of FusionFest, he took on a full time position. And I told Terry, I said, listen, I think I'm done uh, assisting. I think I know this project. I've been here since its inception, and I'm not in sales, but I can share my story and I can share this story and I can, I think I can find opportunities to collaborate with companies and, align our missions and our goals. So that's then in 2019, I started as development manager. And yeah, and then I don't even know because then the pandemic hit and
Well,
we
yeah, the
come
pandemic
back.
changed everything, but I
It
want you to
changed
know I
everything.
know about Fusion Fest,
Mhm.
but I think there are people who are watching that don't know what
Yeah.
Fusion Fest is and what
Yeah.
it does. So share a little of that with them. Share a lot of that with them because
Yes.
it's such a
Yeah.
beautiful concept. You were mentioning international, you were mentioning all of that. So tell them multicultural, give them the basics on it. I think it's super
Yes,
important.
let me take a few steps back. So, Fusion Fest started, as I said, as a grassroots movement, but it actually started when Gwinnett Roberts, Sam Roberts of the Caribbean American Passport Magazine, and
Yes.
Eve Whaley of the African American Leaders Council, maybe I got that name wrong. Forgive me, Eve, if you're watching this. But they approached Terry and they said, we see a lot of overlap in the community. We attend a Caribbean event and there's African people there. And then we attend a Latin event and there's, I don't know, these other people are there too, Afro Caribbean and all of that. How about we do something that we just bring everyone together? And that was the whole idea. Um, Bringing all the cultures together because it's also very easy for people to be in silos. This is the Puerto Rican community and this is the Brazilian community, this is the Japanese community. And the whole idea of Fusion Fest is bringing everyone together to showcase their talents. But we also, and the name Fusion, why Fusion? Because we want people to get out of their comfort zones and learn about something different and create an innovative thing. So we encourage everyone to create new things by combining aspects, materials, by combining cultures together. So the name Fusion came from this idea of rewarding people with cash prizes. So we have cash prizes that are like $1,000 for our cooking contest that is coming up next month. So chefs will come and combine ingredients, spices, and techniques from different cultures, different parts of the
Nice.
world, and create something unique. We also have $1,000 prize in fashion for designers to create something that it's, Indian fabrics with African patterns. Like, how does it look
I
like
love that.
for us to combine? And with that, we want to show our heritage as Central Floridians. Like, it is amazing, I think, right, that I have this Brazilian Japanese heritage, but what does it mean now that I'm here? How can I create something super unique that it's not going to be, it's going to be Japanese Brazilian, but it will be Central Floridian. So that's our idea, and just pushing people out of their comfort zone and also encouraging them to learn, because the whole point, I think, of our festival is also to break down barriers of fear and division. So when, if I am Muslim and I don't know my friend who's from another religion, let's say Buddhist, I think that, I don't know. I may think that, oh, they're going to hell. They're not worshiping the God that, but, or vice versa. But once you get to know that person, once you get to know a person of that faith, once you get to know what their faith entails, really not just from watching a video, but you actually meet a person from the community, it changes you.
It
You,
does.
like those fears, you only fear what you don't know, right? And I think our whole point is just to bring that awareness, create collaborations, and to show the world that our community can live in the basis of love and respect other than fear and division.
It's beautiful. See, yeah, that's one of the reasons why I love the organization, because I feel like the media, not to pick on my media friends, but the media, social media, we tend to paint things as so black and white and so culturally divisive. And in reality, there are organizations like Fusion Fest, especially, that try to bring that together and educate. The only way we're going to get to know, like you said, is if we educate ourselves and step outside a little bit of the comfort zone. And so I feel like what Fusion Fest does is does all the heavy lifting for us. We just have to go. We have to
Yes.
participate. We have to attend. And if we will just take that one step to attend, you'll learn all sorts of things culturally, food wise, music, what the practices are, and that is such a great place to be. Makes you a better human being and a better global and community neighbor. So tell them, when is the next event?
Yes, so we have a big festival coming up, and I know you have a lot of artists watching your show. So we have applications are now open on our website. So for music, dance, fashion designers, or if you have a beautiful traditional clothing outfit and you just want to walk the runway, please send your application. Our website is down here, fusionfest.org. Vendors as well. Applications are open for vendors. What else? Poets, storytellers. We have a stage for you as well. We want to
Lovely.
hear all your poetry about your upbringing in different cultures. We even have a segment that you can read literature in another language as long as you can translate that into English.
Beautiful.
So yeah, we have an art gallery. So for all our visual artists out there, please sign up. We want to see your work. Our theme for the visual arts gallery is home. So what are the textures and the colors of your culture? And by home, we don't only mean your home country or home state. We mean whatever means home to you. It can be Central Florida. It can definitely be Central Florida. And that's another thing that I want to mention too. We're not only about international cultures. We're about honoring us, right? Who we are here as Central Floridians. So we have a big collection of flags, and we have all the states. So we know there are some really proud Texans out there who want to carry the Texas flag, or Ohio. And if you are one of those people, we want to encourage you to come and share the culture of your state with us. We want to learn that as well. I am fascinated by all the difference that we have in this country. I come from Brazil, which is a huge country as well, and it is the same. Each state has its own like staple food and some variations, of course, but the accents are completely different. And yeah, and the way people do life is also different. So I would love to learn that as well, from our from other states. So oh,
Fusion Fest. What is the date on that?
yes, I'm so sorry. Yes,
No.
Fusion Fest is the festival is November 26 and 27. So right after Thanksgiving. But we also have monthly dining events. So if you're looking to explore different cuisines and want to also get out of your comfort zone, please come and check our dining events out. It happens every month. We support locally diverse owned restaurants here in Central Florida. And every month we bring a whole experience with a full course meal, live entertainment, storytelling, kind of like a little bit a mini version of what you're going to see at the festival, but really immersed in that one culture.
So, and you know what? You want to go to fusionfest.org. You can obviously reach out to Tali, 'cause she's just as wonderful in person. She obviously has a passion for it. And I love when people
I
just
do.
talk and talk and talk about the passion, because that's what gets other people excited. But we have such a great opportunity here, and Fusion Fest really does work with all of the the different countries that are represented here. We have so many in Central Florida alone, but I love the fact that you'll incorporate the Texans and the Ohioans, and I
Yeah.
love that whole thing. That is a true fusion, and that's really what we have a great opportunity and what you all do such amazing job at. All right, Tally, thank you so much. You
Thank
guys get
you.
involved. Go to fusionfest.org, reach out to Tally, reach out to me. I appreciate everything that you do, Tally, and everything that Fusion
Thank
Fest
you.
does. We'll see you guys soon.
Thanks
Get
for
out, get
having us.
involved, taste some new things, listen to some new music, look at some new fashion. And if you're one of those artists, you're one of those people, you're somebody who wants to give back and wants to share what you grew up with. Again, go to fusionfest.org. We'll see you guys soon.